Okay, let's prepare French bread. Here are all the ingredients that we need. This recipe can be made with a mixer or it can be done manually. I'm going to do it manually. We start with the dry ingredients. We have everything already measured, pre-measured here. At least the first 3 cups of flour should be measured already. We proceed to pour the water. It should not be room temperature, it should be warm. We mix it and we ensure that we leave it at least 3 minutes so that yeast get activated. After the 3 to 5 minutes, we are going to see that the yeast is already activated, and when we put the oil and the salt. Immediately we put the 3 cups of flour and mix it with all the wet ingredients that we have. After mixing manually for a few minutes, you will see that the consistency of the dough is something like this. It should be shiny and it should be very well mixed. From this point on, it's not a science anymore. Measurement is not key here. Now it's an art. We're going to start using flour until we take the dough to the consistency that we really want. Sure. After a few minutes of putting flour and putting about 3 more cups of flour, first here and then move to the table and do it here. Obviously my hands are clean now, but I wash it in order to use the camera. But it's going to be messy, and at the end it's going to be a little bit sticky, but not too much. And that's basically what you want. This dough looks perfect. Now we're going to take the dough, put it on this bowl that is already with oil. We are going to leave it there covered by this towel that is wet for about an hour until it gets double the size. You are ready to roll the bread into a roll. Be sure you have enough flour over the table. Some people like to do it over oil. I prefer to do it over flour. Finally, when we have the dough at the size that we want, we are going to start working on it, and you will see it. So first, we are going to span the dough with our hands, knowing that it's over flour and it's not going to be stick or stuck. Okay. Then we are going to roll it to ensure that it goes as thin as possible, and the dimension should be about 18 by 12, like a rectangle. We're going to cut in half using a pizza cutter so that we can work with each roll individually. If you did a good job putting enough flour over the table, it should be fine. It should be easy to get the rolls individually, get to the point where you want them. After rolling them, you will end with something similar to this. They don't need to be perfect, but they should be as close as possible in size and weight, so that they have the same weight. Okay. Once you have it like this, next step is to put it in another place for them to grow, and you are going to leave it again for 1 hour or so to grow twice the size. You can use one of two things. You can put it on a baking paper within I don't know, whatever you have available. In my case, I'm going to use this that I normally use for pizza. I will put them here and will let them grow for an hour, and then I will put it to bake. Now once they are in the right place, in this case is this wooden place, You are going to cover them with a wet towel. It could be a cloth, it's not really. Individually. And leave them there for about an hour to grow again. And then from there you get it to the oven. After the time pass and you have the rolls grown as you need it, you should have your oven at 375 degrees. Now you are going to use a blade like this to cut the rolls 4 or 5 times diagonal and then put it on the oven. 375 is going to be for 25 to 30 minutes. At the end you will finish with something like this or better. This doesn't look very good, but let's see how it is.